Welcome to Microsodes.
On today's podcast, we are reviewing The Fall Guy. However, you will hear us say Fall Guy a billion times because I didn't realize it was The Fall Guy until after I edited this episode. Enjoy, and please don't be mad at us. Hello and welcome. Here on Microsodes, we review movies and TV shows from two very different perspectives in 30 minutes or less. Unless we go on tangents.
Or your money back. But you haven't paid anything, so I can give you a crisp high five if you see me in the streets.
Nice.
My name's Bobby. I'm the resident cinephile here, which just means that I've seen a ton of movies. It's not that I have any specific area of expertise. I've just watched and consumed a lot of media, I suppose, in my day. And along with me today is...
I'm Ashley, and I am the movie novice of this podcast, which means that although I have seen movies, I haven't seen a lot of them. So I bring a more casual perspective. But before we begin...
This microsode could be 5-star sponsored by Gamma Ray Optics Blue Light Blocking Eyewear. Now, I really wish that was the name of it, but this is the actual title. Gamma Ray Computer Blue Light Blocking Gaming Reading Glasses with Amber Tint and Anti-Glare UV Digital Eye Strain. Lots of SEO there.
Exactly.
So these blue light blocking glasses have definitely helped me retain my eyesight over the last couple of years. I kind of transitioned from working outside into working more in front of a computer. Mm-hmm. And so I spend most of my day inside staring at a screen. And then I come home, make dinner, hang out with Ashley, and sit down and watch a little bit of TV. Mm-hmm. So my eyes constantly felt like they were being strained. And it was causing me to have a few headaches. So Ashley saw these one day and bought me a pair. Mm-hmm. And I could not be more thankful.
Well, you're welcome. You are so much better at wearing them than I am. I mean, I'm wearing them right now, but other than that, you're always wearing them.
Yeah, it's kind of become something that just helps me out a lot. And I feel like when we watch movies, which mm-hmm. is what our microsodes are about, movies and TV shows, it definitely helps me not feel as tired. Helps me focus a little bit more. But don't just take our word for it. Here is a 5-star review from a verified purchaser named Sandy. I have frequent migraines, and TV and other devices can cause a problem. These glasses work well in greatly reducing eye fatigue. No reflection of my eyes in them, and they are very comfortable. End of review.
Nice.
Thank you for that, Sandy. So yeah, Gamma Ray Optics. If you're out there and you're listening, love your product. I have 3 pairs of them.
And you want one more.
And want one more. 2 for work, 2 for home.
Yeah, you gotta have a backup. When you really like something, you buy multiple. Not you, but like a person.
Yeah, because you never know when something's going to break or they discontinue it.
Exactly.
I'm looking at you, Costco. Please don't sue us. Wow. What an incredible 5-star sponsor that could be.
It could be.
So the movie that we're watching tonight is Fall Guy.
Yes.
The release date was May 3rd of 2024. The genre is action, comedy, drama, and romance. The runtime is 2 hours and 6 minutes.
That is the longest movie that we've reviewed so far.
I think you're right. It is rated PG-13, and you can watch it on Amazon Prime for free. If you wanted to pay for it, you could watch it on YouTube, YouTube TV, Apple TV,
Fandango at Home, and the Google Play Store. The distributor was Universal Pictures, and it was directed by a gentleman by the name of David Leitch. I'm sorry if I butchered your name, sir. It's Leitch. Interesting fact.
Leitch?
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 Okay.
I don't know.
He also directed Bullet Train with Brad Pitt. Very, very good movie.
I haven't seen it.
Hobbs and Shaw.
I saw part of that, I think.
I think you saw the whole thing.
Oh, yes.
And he's a highly decorated stuntman with over 82 movies to his credit as a stuntman.
Wait, so he's a stuntman and he directed this?
Yes.
That is very cool.
I think that's the reason why they wanted to be as big and as bold as it was.
I like it.
So there you go. Those are the movie details. So Ashley is going to watch the preview. She's going to give us her take on what she sees, and then I will read the synopsis. So that way everybody's on the same page for what we're watching this evening. What do you think, Ashley? You ready?
I think I am ready. And we're back. I just watched the trailer.
Oh, wow. How was it?
I honestly think that's the best trailer I have seen in a very long time. I can't even remember a better trailer that movie made me want to watch it so many times. Just like watching the trailer.
The trailer made you want to watch the movie.
Yes. It was like they had all of the best things put into one trailer. It's like you figure out what top movies do what. Like, oh, it needs to be romance, but it also needs to have sarcasm.
Right.
But it also needs to have action. And it also needs to have, like, I don't know, stunts.
Yeah.
And it also needs to have stunts.
Absolutely.
So it makes me think that there's some kind of romance. However, I think the movie will be about a stunt guy who has to find an actor because they said the main actor went missing.
Okay.
And I think the girl, Emily Blunt, looks like she's like working on set doing something. So maybe, I don't know, maybe she's a writer or a producer. And it seemed like there was a lot going on and it would be very entertaining unless those are all the best scenes. But I have to say, I think the part of the trailer that really sealed the deal with me wanting to watch this movie was the music.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Fantastic.
it was so good. I haven't heard a trailer use good music
In a while.
in a long time. Yeah.
I agree.
Okay. Now, what is the actual synopsis?
Now, here is the actual synopsis. A stuntman, great start for you,
I got it.
fresh off an almost career-ending accident, has to track down a missing movie star,
Okay.
solve a conspiracy, and try to win back the love of his life while still doing his day job.
That sounds very accurate.
I think you
I
did a great
pretty
job.
Good job.
Yeah, that's really good.
Nice.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and watch Fall Guy, and we'll see you after the show.
Since we discussed the categories earlier, please refer to
Salem's Lot.
episode
1.
for the category definitions.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to be starting off with story. Would you like to go first, or would you like me to go first today?
I can go first.
Sounds fantastic.
So for story, I gave it a 5 out of 5.
Wow. I think that's the first time on any one of our episodes. That's incredible. Okay.
I know, I almost gave it a 4.9. And then I thought about it. I was like, for me, I don't think there was anything I wanted that was more than that.
Awesome. Okay.
I think there were different meanings and metaphors used to reference their relationship. So I really enjoyed the metaphors.
Nice.
There was a ton of action.
Mm-hmm.
I think the fact that I'm not a huge action movie person.
Right.
However, this was the first movie that I've watched through the action scenes because the action was so interesting. Is this part of story? Or is this visuals?
Well, I think it's a combination for a movie like this specifically because it's supposed to be an ode to all the people, all the stunt people.
Yes.
I think that's part of the story that kind of goes along with it. So I think you can tie the two together. At least that's the way that I see it.
I like that. Yes. So I really like that they had a ton of stunt people because it wasn't like the fighting scenes were afterthoughts. Everything was so meticulously like planned and placed. It was the most interesting fight scene. Like every single fight in this movie made me want to watch it. I watched through I think this was like incredibly entertaining for me.
Oh yeah.
There was so much. There was comedy, there was romance, there was crime, there was action, there was, mystery, I guess, but not kind of. I guess mystery, yeah, because they were trying to find him.
Right, they had to solve a mystery.
Right. It was so good. I don't think I would have asked for anything more.
It's the chef's kiss. No notes.
No notes? Oh, yeah, exactly.
There you go. I'm pretty close to you on this one. I ranked it as a 4.7.
Nice.
I said that this is a throwback to the 1980s TV series. I don't know if you knew that it was based off of...
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad that you told yours after because I had no idea.
Yeah, so there used to be a 1980s TV show that was called Fall Guy. And so what they're hoping with, if this movie was successful enough, that they might do more Fall Guy movies with a lot more, action and stunts and those kinds of things. We'll wait and see. But I just thought this kind of was a really good standalone kind of entrance into that, if that's the way that they really want to go with it. The story was incredible. We've all seen, the downtrodden hero, and now I've got to redeem myself. But this just had so much more because he was so reluctant to get involved with things. But it was just like the story was kind of like thrust upon him. If you were trying to go backwards and get out of it, it was like, no, the more you try to get out, the more you have to come back in. And I really, really enjoyed that. I said it had a lot of cleverness, a lot of twists and turns, and I thought it was just a great story all the way through.
I could not agree more.
Yeah. So I was right there with you. There's a couple little plot holes in there and stuff like that, but that's the reason why I couldn't give it a 5. But I could absolutely see why someone would give it a 5 because I was really close.
Yeah.
Very, very close. Okay, so the next category is acting.
Yes.
Is it okay if I go?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So once again, I gave this category a 4.7. It said Ryan Gosling has been on a pretty good tear lately. He had The Gray Man, Barbie, all those different kinds of movies. And I think Emily Blunt and her bluntness, right, and sarcasm allow them to be on screen really, really well together. I just enjoyed their chemistry so much. It was pretty seamless from one scene to the other. It wasn't like one of them was dominating something. They were just working really well with each other. And then I thought the surrounding cast did an awesome job too. It wasn't like there was somebody that was taking away from somebody. Everybody just worked really, really well together. I think it was completely cohesive and really funny. And I really enjoyed it overall. So yeah, I gave it a 4.7.
I love that. And I would have to agree. I gave acting a 5.
Wow.
I
Okay.
know.
A double 5.
This is
a first.
okay. So sometimes when I watch movies, I try to picture the actors reading lines.
Okay.
And nowhere in the movie did I think anyone was actually reading a script. It was so natural for me.
Yes. I totally understand where you're coming from.
Yeah. And a lot of movies, it's like, oh, specifically, I guess since we already posted it, or since we already talked about it, I can talk about it now. But like Salem's Lot, all of that dialogue was just.
Shout out to JPC.
Oh yeah, JBC, you're the best. Being something else. I'm sure you think that too. You're like, hey, hire me. Anyway,
Right.
The lines in that movie, I know the actors tried so hard to make them believable, but the lines were so bad.
They were horrible.
It was like I couldn't not think
Right.
of them reading lines.
Yeah.
Where this movie, honestly, if you told me that the entire movie was improv, I would believe you.
You're not going to believe what I have to say next. I'm very glad. Make sure you keep that in the back of your mind.
Oh, okay. Because it felt like everything was so natural. Every like sigh or glance or like word, obviously. Anything they did or said or the movements, it just looked so natural.
Yeah.
It like and everything they were doing, it just seems very well thought out.
I completely agree.
So I'd give it a 5.
Excellent. I mean, there's nothing to subtract from that. Like I said, I rated it just a little bit lower, but still, I can absolutely see that.
Nice. Oh, is it mine? I go next?
You go next.
For writing and dialogue, I gave it a 5.
Whoa. Okay.
I know, it's a lot. I thought a lot.
No,
I thought long and hard about this.
Yeah.
So for the writing dialogue,
Mm-hmm.
I felt like we could feel the tension between the characters. Everything they were talking about seemed like something that someone would actually say.
Sure.
When they were going through the relationship, I don't know, any relationship conversation, the psychological aspect of the characters not acting. I mean, okay, the psychological aspect of the characters together feeling like reluctant for a certain situation. It's like you could tell what they were thinking in their brain and how a regular like person would think about it, because we're always afraid to be vulnerable.
Right.
And the characters were like acting like normal people in a relationship or in a pseudo relationship.
Okay.
It just felt very natural. It was realistic. I thought the awkwardness between the main characters was funny. Oh, I really enjoyed when he was talking to himself outside the actor's house. And he was talking like
he was the actor. He was playing both parts. He's
Yes.
playing both himself and the other guy.
So he was talking to himself out loud as a dialogue about a hypothetical conversation with the guy he's trying to say or find.
Right.
It was so real. It was so funny.
Yeah.
It's like, and he was so self-deprecating
Yeah.
in such a true way.
Right.
Okay. And then even though we didn't see their backstory, the video montage at the beginning, when he was sitting in the car alone and they were playing the Taylor Swift song,
Yes.
it made me feel like I didn't even need them to explain the backstory, because I don't even think they were talking. Were they even talking in that backstory? Or was it just a montage of photos and videos?
I think it was a montage of photos and videos of them being together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that would be direction or visuals, right?
I mean, it's one way or the other, but I mean, use it in whatever category that you think that it belongs in.
Okay. I like the story development. It kept me entertained and slightly confused, but it helped us understand the main character's point of view, like all of the main characters' point of view.
Okay.
So it's like we were watching the movie with the characters.
Mm-hmm.
You know how sometimes you watch a movie and we see something that the character didn't see?
Right.
Like we see a ghost behind them, but the character didn't see it. I felt like we were in the character's point of view. So we saw what was going on when it was going on, for the most part. Well, I guess you'd see both of their lives when they were separate.
No, I mean, that makes sense. I see where you're coming from.
I don't know. Maybe this is all together.
No, I think you're doing a great job.
Oh, okay. I might have 2 more, but I think that's for 5. So I'll save it. The funny scenes in this movie lasted the perfect amount of time. So, like, some movies have comedic scenes that sometimes last so long that it's not funny by the end of the scene.
Right.
I noticed this was like, I don't know, if it's funny within the first 8 seconds, they stopped it at 8 seconds. It didn't need to be 3 minutes because the first part was funny. Like,
Right.
they were very good with comedic timing. I like that.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
Awesome. Well, I agree with you in some aspects. I gave the writing a 4, and here's the reason why I say that. It seemed, to me at least, I think for all the reasons you gave it a 5, that's the reason why I gave it a 4. Seemed like they started off with like a rough draft, and then it was like a bunch of improv between everybody.
Yeah.
Which is great. It just, for me, I'm like, well, I mean, I don't know if this is actually something that they wrote in, or is this Ryan Gosling having that conversation with himself, or, you know, when Emily Blunt's talking to him or talking to herself in her own trailer.
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was something that they actually wrote, or they were just like, okay, this is the gist of the scene, you do it.
I mean, I would not
And
guess.
that's the reason why I thought acting was a lot higher than writing, because I didn't know if it was one way or the other.
Okay. So then if it were acting, maybe you'd give it a 5.
Well, that's
And
the
you
reason
would-
why I rated it as a 4.7, because
That's what
I
I
thought
mean.
that they did. Because if it wasn't, if I thought the writing was so much better than what the acting was, I would have rated the acting a 4.2 and the writing a 4.7. But I think that the acting really stole the show
Yeah.
in it. And I don't know if it was specifically the writing and the dialogue that helped it. I'm just saying
like
that
it could be the acting, but it could be the writing.
right.
And I guess I treated it as the writing, but also the acting was great too.
And so that's the reason why I don't know. I would
That
have
makes
to
sense.
actually see the script to see if they had written in all that stuff. I would immediately change this from a 4.0 to a 5.
Yeah.
Because it was incredibly funny, really, really well timed with the comedic timing and everything that they did. But I've seen Emily Blunt and Ryan Gosling both do their own kind of improv stuff on, like, when they go out to do like TV shows or interviews. So I don't know if it was specifically the writing or they gave them just a basic framework. So that's the only reason why I dinged it.
That makes sense.
So that's the reason why I went with that. So for direction, I gave it a 4.7.
Ooh.
So I really enjoyed the other movies that the director had done.
Okay.
So I loved Bullet Train, and I thought that this movie kind of felt like that
Oh, okay.
to me. And so
And
there
why?
was a lot going.
Because I have never seen Bullet Train.
There's a lot of the same visuals. Like, I don't want to give anything away in the movie, but there's a scene in Fall Guy that reminds me of a scene on the train in Bullet Train. And just the way that it was filmed.
Was it when they were driving at some point in a car or a vehicle?
No, it was when he went to the club pretending like he was someone else.
Oh my gosh. I mean, when I say that scene was good, all the scenes are good.
I know.
So it's so difficult for me to even
and that's the
say my
reason-
favorite scene.
And that's the reason why I thought this guy did an excellent job, because I absolutely enjoyed Bullet Train. And I think that this is right in that same wheelhouse. The director did a fantastic job. It really flows very well. And it's a very specific, and I wrote this down, it's a very specific directing style, because some parts of it feel like a video game. Some parts of it are really, really over the top, but I think that it really appeals to the type of people that want to see those kinds of movies. I'm in that
category, so sign me up for anything else this guy wants to direct.
I agree. If it's anything like that. So we're going to have to do Bullet Train, and then you can review it from a second time reviewer standpoint.
Absolutely. I'd love to.
Okay. For direction, I gave it a 5.
Nice.
You see where I'm going with this.
I see where you're going.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
I really enjoyed the fight scenes between the characters.
Mm-hmm.
They were incredibly interesting, and the film, like the angles that they could capture the fight scenes looked really cool.
Okay.
Everything seemed really cohesive. I really enjoyed the behind the scenes footage they added after the movie.
Oh, in the final credits?
Yes.
Yeah.
In the final credits. I really liked being it was really cool seeing so many stunt people in a movie. Like really giving stunt people the chance to like be a main character. It's really cool. Like,
yeah, they said that it was like the kind of, it wasn't the tagline to this, but they said it was kind of a love letter to all the people who've done stunts in the stunt community in movies for so long. And I completely agree.
I loved that. I mean, everything was so cohesive. The way that they moved or the way that the scenes were set up, like everything, it was easy to figure out what is going on. The metaphors weren't too nuanced, but they weren't too obvious either.
Yeah, I completely agree.
I think he did a very good job of blending the scenes, the way they shot it. I guess all of the above.
Yeah, I think I don't have anything else to say to that. I think it was very, very well done. And all the points that you made, I saw the same thing. And the last category is?
Visuals.
Oh, yeah.
And I gave visuals a 0. I'm kidding. I gave it a 5. I mean, everything I was writing said visuals too.
Nice.
I have nothing to say about the brightness or the darkness. I didn't notice it. So that means it was perfectly done. It was aligned with the storyline. I liked the effects makeup that they had. It was all very realistic. Sometimes people go too gory or they don't use enough. And this was like,
oh yeah,
the makeup looked really good to me on all the characters, the ones in the movie, in the fake movie, and then just like the normal effects.
Yeah.
There were camera angles inside and outside either the car or the action that gave the audience a perspective of the movie watcher and the stunt person. It's like we got each perspective. We got a perspective of like the audience, like every movie.
Yeah, you kind of get it behind the scenes of what it is to produce and make a movie that has stunts involved in it. So you got to watch the movie while you're watching it get made.
Yeah. Yes.
You're watching the movie and you're also watching the fake movie get made. So that's the behind the scenes portion of it. Because you're watching what it actually takes to make the movie, but you're watching a movie inside of a movie. You understand what I mean?
Yes. That was actually you're right. It was my second point. I liked seeing the fake cameras that were actually filming the movie.
Yeah.
I think that's what you were trying to say?
Yeah, I was just trying to say, like, you get to watch a movie about a movie that's being made, but it's a movie that has stunts, but this movie also has stunts.
Yes.
So you get to see, like I said, it's kind of like an Inception movie. You get to see the movie inside the movie.
Yes. It was so cool. That's exactly what I was trying to say. I was trying to remember what I was saying.
You're doing a great job.
That is exactly what I was trying to say in this.
Yeah.
Also, in each scene visually, there's always a lot going on.
Yeah.
So there's always something to look at. They were never in like a blank room. It was like they were outside and there was greenery, or there were people, or there was a building, or they were inside and there was a chair and there was a window and drapes, and I know a lot of movies are like that, but there was like a lot going on that all worked very cohesively together. However, they specifically either spotlighted the main character in a very muted way. It wasn't obvious, but they used either color or light to focus on the main character, even though everything was so busy. It was really cool because we could see, there was so much to see in every scene.
Yeah.
But they really did a good job highlighting the main character so we knew who to focus on as the audience.
Right.
Sometimes you watch something and there's so much going on in the scene that you don't even know where you're supposed to look.
Right.
But they did a really good job with that. I liked the way they shot the scene between the main characters on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a split screen. She mentions having a split screen for the movie that she's making.
Yeah.
But they're also doing it in the movie that we're watching.
Yeah, I think that goes back to what we were talking about
just
earlier.
what you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And even if that wasn't even the thing, it wasn't that we were inception into movie. I just like the split screen where it shows them doing completely different things in different spaces, but they were making the same actions.
Yeah.
So it was so interesting to see that. I really like that.
Nice. Well,
I'm so sorry. You're right with the cameras and everything. And the last thing that I said, I like when they went back to the footage that was caught on the security camera. Mm-hmm. Like there was literally a camera in one of the hallways, and then we went back to look at the security footage of what we saw already being filmed, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, they do a really good job of doing a lot of different throwbacks throughout the movie, so I completely agree.
Anyway.
Oh, no, that's perfect. So I'm right there with you. Visuals for me was 5.0.
What?
Yeah, there's nothing I could have asked more from this movie. It got going right from the beginning, and it didn't stop until it was the end. It was an ode to stunt performers, like we talked about, and it just shows from how amazing the visuals were, from the fight scenes to the practicals to the ending. For me, it was just completely from beginning to end. It was so well done. And if you've listened to the podcasts or the microsodes from before, you'll know this about me. I love practical effects. Mm-hmm. And that's what this movie was for, I would guess, 90%
yes.
of the stunts were practical effects. It wasn't CGI. And it shows, I think, to the audience that it can still be done. You don't need to have these giant green screens, these giant sets that are built. You can do things in safe, controlled manners and have an incredible movie that just totally blows you away. I mean, I still remember the first time seeing Jurassic Park, knowing that the very first time that you see a T-Rex, like, that's real.
Yeah.
Somebody, like, really went out and built that. Obviously, there was CGI that they put into it, but everything else, I mean, that was real.
Yeah.
And it's just, when it almost jumps off the page, you can kind of feel like the danger in it, or not the page, but the screen. You kind of feel the danger and the fire and the heat and all those different kinds of things. I love that. I love that as somebody watching a movie. This is one of those movies where you don't get up to walk away to do something else, because you're going to miss out.
You're going to miss something, and you are going to be so sad that you did.
I completely agree. Completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd just be bummed. You're like, what happened?
What happened? Something. You know how you're watching a show or a movie, and you're like, oh, God, another talking scene. I don't know if that's what you do, but I do.
I mean, it depends on what kind of movie that you're watching.
Just like an average movie.
Yeah, I agree. They're like, oh, yeah, let me talk to you about my feelings.
Yeah, I can go to the bathroom and come back, and I literally miss nothing.
Yeah.
But this movie, if you left for 30 seconds, you'd miss something, and you'd be upset about it. It wasn't, like, not in a bad way, though, but in the best way possible, because you're like, that is so funny, or that is so crazy, or that is so cool, or that is so unexpected. It's like every scene was just good.
Incredible. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Mm-hmm.
So what was your overall score? I think I could guess, but why don't you go ahead and tell the people?
For everyone out there, the score I gave Fall Guy is a 5 out of 5.
Incredible. First time ever.
100%. And It's our 5th episode. How weird.
Incredible.
I think what topped it off, out of everything, the movie was fantastic. The actors were great. The visuals were outstanding. The direction, the stunts, the filming, everything was incredible. But what really topped it off was the music. The music was fan-effing-tastic.
Whoa.
And I love that they faded the music in and out in different scenes to go with what was going on in the scene, like the action.
Right. The guy who directed it has a really good eye to put those kinds of soundtracks in with the kind of fight scenes
I'm going to put that in my
that are going to do it. What's that?
I'm so sorry. I just interrupted you again.
Oh, no. That's okay.
I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
Okay, I'm done. I promise.
No,
I gave it a 5 out of 5. I highly, highly recommend everyone go see Fall Guy or watch it at home streaming. Or go and watch it at someone else's house. Who knows?
Absolutely. I gave it a 4.62, which is the highest rated one that I think that I've ever done.
Wow.
I would 1,000,000% get behind A on this. You should absolutely see it. I think this is one of those movies where the more you watch it, the better it's going to get.
Yes,
because you're going to catch so many different things.
Yes.
And so I think that, we just got done watching it. I think that the next time that we see it, we'll even pick up on even more, which is, I think, always the sign of a good movie. It's one of those things where if you're scrolling through looking for something to watch, this is absolutely something that you throw on there. And no matter where you pick it up, if you've seen it before, you're going to be pumped that it's on.
I could not agree more.
Yeah. So I gave it a 4.62, and I would highly, highly recommend people going to see this film.
And what types of people? What genres would people like this?
All?
I think all.
Unless you're under the age of 13, then make sure that you have a parent or a guardian take you.
Yes.
Or put it on your streaming channel.
Because they do curse, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And there's a lot of adult themes.
Yeah, there's adult themes and they curse. So unless you are 13 years or older, don't watch this.
I would 100% recommend this for everybody, every single category of person that is out there. I think
Agreed.
If you are going to watch this, you will not be disappointed.
I completely agree.
Awesome.
Highly, highly recommend.
Well, there you go. So that is our review on Fall Guy. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Microsodes.
Say it one more time. Thank you.
Well, that's it. Thank you for joining us on another Microsode. We just got done reviewing Fall Guy, which we would definitely highly recommend.
Highly recommend. I'd give it a 5 out of 5 on Tomato Eaters. No, Rotten Tomatoes.
I like Tomato Eater better.
Tomato Eaters.
Yeah, Tomato Eaters, or the Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Yeah. So the next movie that you want to watch, if you want to watch a good one, if you want to watch a trash one, then watch it during the day when you do chores. But if you want to watch a good movie, this is the one you should watch.
This is it. This is the one.
I mean, also, if you have already seen it, you're like, I don't want to watch it, but my wife hasn't watched it, or I've watched it, but my wife hasn't. Maybe I don't want to watch it again. If you watch it again, you will not be disappointed.
You will not.
You will be happy that you watched it twice.
Agreed. And you can't say that about a lot of movies that are out there.
Definitely not.
So thank you very much for coming in and sharing a little bit of your time with us today. Thank you for coming in and sharing a little bit of your time with us today on this Microsode. From Ashley and Bobby and Stella, our little correspondent, we say thank you for making it this far. Thank you for continuing to listen. And we'll see you next time
on Microsodes. I know where it is, where the film details start.
Okay. So the name of the movie, oddly enough, is called Fall Guy.
Nice.
It was released on May 3rd of 2024. The genre is action, hiya, comedy, drama, and romance.
Sexy stuff.
The runtime is 2 hours.
Can't believe we did that.
That
was so
good.
fun, though.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
I loved it.
I'm so sorry.
So it makes me think that there's some kind of romance.
Okay. Do you think it's going to be a bad romance?
Depends if we hear any Lady Gaga music.
Fair enough.
They didn't forewarn us that it would be a bad romance. So I don't know.
Okay.
What was your favorite part?
I'm not allowed to say that unless you want to bleep this out.
Oh, never mind.
But my favorite part was...
Bleep.
That was my
Oh.
favorite scene.
And
When he's like, what did you give me? And then he starts going like bananas.
yes, okay, I was going to reference this, but
Yeah.
then I didn't. I liked when he took the drugs and he saw a unicorn and someone said something to him. Like,
Well, he said, he's talking to the guy. He's like, you gave me all these drugs. When is this going to wear off? And the guy's like, when you stop seeing unicorns. And he looked over and it was right there looking at him. He's like, damn it.
okay, I wrote some of the songs down that you can
Okay.
hear in Fall Guy.
Okay.
I Was Made for Loving You by Kiss. Thunderstruck by AC/DC. All Too Well by Taylor Swift. All I Do Is Win by DJ Khaled. I Believe in a Thing Called Love by The Darkness. GD in a Bottle by Christina Aguilera. And a song by Phil Collins. But there's a ton more. There's a lot more. I those are just the ones that I wrote down
Yeah,
while
just cut
we were
out
watching
the
it.
Phil Collins
I
one.
will. I will. That movie was so good.
Right.
Just talking about it makes me want to watch it again.
Yeah. Hi, my teachers.